everybody? Stover and Dusty Bogan. This is the amazing live stream. We've called it the Curtesy Flush. The Curtesy Flush. Because it's something I've learned in life. You know what I mean? Sometimes things suck, Stover.
Mhm.
Like, I don't really enjoy when I'm taking a giant steamy turd. And I even courtesy, it's about self-respect. That's what this Curtesy Flush is about, essentially.
It is. See, my lady, she got these like drops that you put in the toilet. They're like mask, like you put it in before because she's like, "You're killing me here." So I was like, do a couple of those, and I still do a courtesy flush. So have some
Because
self-respect.
you care
everybody.
about yourself.
Well, yeah, I kind of like to just bask in it. It's like I feel like it's masculinity.
See, I get myself in a trap. I'm like, I take my dump, but I'm probably only 80%. I think maybe there's 20% to go. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm not sure. You could be sitting there for a while, bit of patience, like, and then it's like a trap. You know, I'm sitting in this disgusting, horrible stench. So I'm
You ever get in a situation where you got to go somewhere like out in public and there's just one, and you got a lot, like there's just one. It's not like the stalls or anything. It's just one room, and it's your room for that time, and then you walk out and there's a line of other guys, and you're like, you feel like you're just kind of like, oh,
sorry, boys.
At least I'll be out of. You won't be looking at me when you realize, like, I'll be already in my car driving on the highway by the time he really hates me.
Mm-hmm. But if we all were practitioners of the courtesy flush, right? You do your business, flush straight away. The smell is gone.
Yeah, you're right.
And then it doesn't like build up and stenchify the whole.
So you're kind of doing yourself a service.
It's respect for yourself, and in certain scenarios, the guy waiting outside wanting to go after you. We've reduced the stench for him too.
I wonder if they've done a study. I think that we should commission a study where like we get all the scientific gizmos into this bathroom and we truly dial down a number, what the stench reduction is when you properly conduct a courtesy flush. I'd be curious to see those numbers.
It's good. We change the world here every week. Now you were filling me in about this, and this in life we want to do a courtesy flush. Some things in life suck, like the Bud Light, and the trannies.
They're just trying to ruin everything. Where you everything that you hear your stereotypical. What they want the stereotypical conservative type of guy to seem like, like on TV and stuff, like the American flag waving, gun loving, meat eating, Bud Light drinking kind of dude, and so they're like going after a couple of things. And 1 week you hear everyone's up in arms about the trans Bud Light commercials, and they're not drinking it, and then we hear that they're trying to put the vaccine, which is the mRNA into our livestock for meat consumption. And, everyone's like, oh, it's a conspiracy theory. And I'm like, at this point, I don't believe there's any conspiracy theory, because we know the mRNA is essentially them trying to it's changing your genetics. It's gene therapy. And it's it's basically, I think what I'm seeing and hearing now is it's the first step in them implementing, robot technology. They want to make basically I mean, play the video. I mean,
gene editing, that kind of
yeah.
gene editing. And so the thing is that now they're saying, I know that there was like an oversupply of vaccines, or an overinvestment into this vaccine production. Let's say maybe they make an F ton and they have a like, oh, they're only can be used within 6 months, say. But they've built a mass amount of infrastructure to produce a huge amount of vaccines. So they're not going to waste that. You know what I mean? So this might be like, they're like, oh, well, we've built the infrastructure. We really should use the infrastructure.
But they want the people who haven't
out.
had it, who haven't had it to have it,
Yeah. So inject cows, chickens, pigs, lambs.
Yeah. And imagine this and I think, it's part of the reason is to live forever. And imagine if you live such a life of degeneracy and sin, from a biblical standpoint, you're just a real shitty person. You clearly aren't going to want to think that, there is a God. You want to believe that you are God. And, but maybe there's that little voice in the back of your head that thinks like, oh, fuck, but what if there is God? Or they might even, I think that even the global elite might even know, like, which we can get into that another time, but like, essentially, like, wouldn't you want to live forever if you, given what your options might be after the way you've lived?
I do want, like, even as a Christian, I do want to live forever.
Just in case
if the offer is like, Jesus is like telling me I can have eternal life, I'm like,
but that's just because until you've really visited heaven, I guess you don't really know. No, you don't, like, you're like, well, I want to live my best life here. That seems like heaven to me,
Or are we being lied to? We are eternal beings, and there's eternal consequences to this life. Like, that's the trip. Jesus is kind of saying, we are, like, the reality of the story is we are eternal beings. And it's like, where's that eternal part of me going to be? Is it going to go down the, like, God's plan for that eternal journey, or is it the away from God eternal journey? Now, I'm not saying, you know what I mean? I'm like, okay, cool. However that looks, whatever that looks like, Jesus, does he resurrect us? Do we somehow rematerialize somehow on like the resurrection? Is this going to happen? I don't really know, but I do think there is an eternal aspect here, and I want to go with God on that eternal journey and trust him. I don't want to be down the dark eternal journey. Does not sound pleasing to me. I think being trapped in this body for eternity would be pretty terrifying.
Oh, come on. Don't beat yourself up. You're handsome.
For 35 years. And then, like, when I'm 70, I'll be like,
yeah, that's what I've always wondered. Like,
looking like a toad. Like, he's almost 80. He's the orange man. We love him. We love Trump, but he's looking. You begin to look like a toad at some point.
A little bit. Well, I don't know. That makes me wonder. Have you ever thought of this? Like, if I live to, like, let's 80, I'm old, right? I'm not gonna look this. I might look this handsome. Who knows? I'll moisturize. But I'm going to look pretty shitty probably. And I die. Am I just that ugly old man in heaven all the time? Like, I don't know. Like, or where would I be? Would I be 21 forever? Or would I get or do you get to pick? I mean, or are you just like, you're not even in a body? It's like way more.
I mean, Jesus rose again. So maybe we get an eternal body. Like, that would be cool. I'd be familiar with that, so I'd probably feel comfortable with that.
Yeah, maybe they're like, we get to come back on Earth without like daytime talk TV and liberals. Like, it's just like, it's like the never-ending kegger. like that we're back on Earth. You're with your boys. You
Where is
know.
it? Just give me 1 second.
Okay. But
all the answers are here in this magical book, Stover. All the answers are right here.
Oh, the Book of Mormon. You know, Mormon Jesus is an interesting guy. I think I've shared this with you. There's this this always comes up every time Mormonism comes up. My lady, she went to a Christian high school, and I guess they got shown this video, which was like this Christian's take, and they were trying to be like informational, but it was in a cartoon version of the Mormon Bible. So it's basically, it looks like, you know, it's a cartoon, and in it, it's like explains black people, and it's like, this is where you're just kind of like, oh, do they really believe this? They do. They think that the reason that black people exist is because Mormon Jesus up in heaven was like, hey, we should give people like the freedom of choice. And then the devil was like, no. And so the devil's like, that's it. Who's with me? And all the angels who got on the devil's side came down to earth, and they made
born into black bodies or something.
well, no, they made the evil people, all the people that were on the side of Jesus came down to earth, and they made the the Mormons, and then all the people in the middle who didn't make a decision, they're like, I don't know if I'm team Jesus or team Lucifer. All of them were like, well, since you're like not even, since you're on the fence, you can't even have a team. You have black skin. It's like,
Yeah.
it's just, and I'm like, it's an interesting
But
take.
it's not saying that evil or anything. I guess they're just, yeah, because Mormonism talks about like pre-heaven. So it's this idea that in heaven that we were spirits, like God created every one of us as spirit beings, and this earth is like the test where your spirit gets a body and we get tested here on earth. And potentially, I was telling my wife this, I was like, babe, you
Your mic just went out. I can't hear you. Yeah, I can't hear you, brother. I can hear nothing that you're saying. It's not me. No, I can't hear you at all. And I just did the test in the. This should work. I just did the test in the studio here and it gave me the noise and everything's good on my end. So do your microphone test real quick. Sorry guys, this happens from time to time. The this fake and gay earth. Let me see. So I am on YouTube right now listening, and I could hear you. I'm gonna mute my mic. Sorry guys, one sec. We're gonna figure this out.